Welcome to Universal Immigration. As usual, before I begin a session of presentation, I would like to bring to your notice that whenever you apply through a Canadian immigration consultant, please make sure that that person is a member of ICCRC, that is Immigration Consultants of Canada Regulatory Council. You can find the names on the website which is shown on the screen now. Myself, Ravi Iyer, I am a member of this ICCRC and I am authorized to represent your file with the Immigration Department. Our website is www.universalimmigration.com. Please visit this website and you will find a lot of information, very valuable information, as well as latest updates on the news on immigration, especially the Canadian immigration, is available on our website. Today we are going to talk about Quebec Skilled Worker Program. Like if you are interested in immigrating to Canada, there are various programs available. However, most of the programs are highly restrictive, so it is not pretty open for people to apply. This particular program, as you see, is a question whether it is a permanent resident visa program or is a temporary visa program. Well, let me tell you, Quebec Skilled Worker Program, if you apply under this, what you will be getting is a permanent resident status in Canada. It is something like a green card of United States of America. In Canada, we don't call it green card, but we call it permanent resident. And it gives you all the privileges and you can live here with your family for generations together as a permanent resident. This is pretty different from the citizenship, because citizen is where you are a Canadian passport holder and you have the voting rights in Canada, and you can achieve that if you live in Canada as a permanent resident for 3 years in any 4 years. You can then apply to become a citizen. Now, this is Canada. The colored portion, what you see, is Canada, and the white portion is United States of America. And you see the blue area, that is Quebec. Quebec is the largest province in Canada, and the characteristic of Quebec, as you all know already, that they speak French in Quebec. That is because Quebec once was colonized by French. Quebec has special rights as well, because they can select their own immigrants. They are not part of the federal immigration program that Canada has. Quebec has its own immigration program, and it has its own point system. So today we are going to see why Quebec is available today. Now, Quebec is the only program available where you can apply for permanent resident without a job offer. Now, there are other provinces, there is the federal skilled worker program also available, but all those are pretty restrictive, as I said. And most of the provinces requires that you should have a job offer from a Canadian employer. Now that is not easy to get, and the federal skilled worker program is pretty restrictive on their quotas as well as the occupations. So let us rule that out for now. So leaving that out, Quebec is the only program wide open right now where you can apply and become a permanent resident of Canada. This program, like any other program, is a point-based program, and you have to get a minimum number of points, and these points are based on various factors like your education, your experience, your area of education, your knowledge of languages like English or French, your age, and and if you are married, then your spousal education and spousal age also matters, as well as if you have kids. If you have kids, you get some extra points. That's the incentive. So putting all together, you have to get a minimum number of points. Now, you see, there is one important thing before I go forward, and that is this particular program as I speak today. Today, I would say this is February 2014. This video is being recorded, and I'm going to talk to you only about the program and the laws which is currently in force. So this particular program of Quebec skilled worker is valid only till 31st of March 2014, which means the Quebec government will be accepting applications under the USW Quebec skilled worker till 31st March. It's not that after 31st March this program is going to close, but there are certain rules which may change, and who knows, maybe today you are qualifying, and if the rule changes, you may not qualify. So don't take chances, apply today. And secondly, the maximum of 20,000 applications is what Quebec is going to accept till 31st of March, and thousands of applications have already been submitted. So don't wait, come to us. We will help you apply and lodge your applications well in time. Having said this, there are certain occupations which are in priority. Now this is something which everyone should know, because the whole process of the application depends on whether this particular occupation is in priority or not. If it is not priority, it will take a longer time, and if it is priority, it's going to take a shorter time. Now, which are the occupations that are in priority? Nurses, computer engineers, civil engineers, machinists, welders, and so on and so forth. You should verify our website for the full list. Go to our website www.universalimmigration.com and go to the section of Quebec, and there you will find the complete list. And if you verify on the list has been divided into three major parts, which is number one is very high priority, number two is priority, and number three, which is non-priority. And if it is high priority and priority, then your applications will be given a very, I would say, a kind of fast track treatment. What are the qualifying factors to apply for Quebec? Before I go into that, let me tell you, I will not be confusing you with the points system, because like I said, there are certain points which are being allotted for each factor, and these are extremely complex as far as the Quebec immigration is concerned. Many consultants I have seen have made an attempt to explain these points, but I would say, by the time I start and finish, you will be more confused by the time I finish. So I myself, I would say that I am going to explain you on the major outlook of these factors instead of going into the actual points. Besides, if you send your resume to us at the email that is shown there, we are going to give you and show you the points and make the assessment for you free of charge. So there is no point. Even I would say, in fact, even the Quebec government immigration website, they do not have the points because it is complex to calculate. 1 point for someone is pretty different than this than somebody else. So it's pretty confusing and pretty complex. So don't attempt to make the point system by yourself. Come to us, we will do it free for you. Let's see what are the various qualifying factors. You should be a graduate or a diploma. Pretty simple. Graduate is a bachelor's of 3 years or 4 years, or a diploma, again 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. Work experience of 6 months to 48 months. Now 6 months to 48 months is, I would like to point something out here, that especially for the Filipinos, those who are from Philippines, and who have done the nursing from Philippines, I know that they go through the 4 years BSc program, Bachelor's of Science program, and this particular program has a factor called as RLE, related learning experience. This related learning experience is counted as your experience. In other words, those who are who are fresh graduates, fresh bachelors in bachelors of nursing, they will qualify for this program because they already have 2,000 hours of related learning experience to their credit. As I said, if you are a Bachelor of Nurse from Philippines, even if you do not have your license, nursing license, does not matter. You can still qualify. So please send your resume to us and we will make the assessment and send it back to you. Age should be less than 35, and that is, I'd say, I have used the word preferably. That is because it is not that if somebody is above 35, they will not qualify. It is not like that. You may still qualify, but at the same time you may have to get some additional points in some other factor. Age is one of the very important points factor for Quebec because they want young people, and that is why they attribute maximum points for age. Knowledge of French or English. Now this is, you're coming to Canada and the major language spoken in Canada is English or French. So you should be well with at least one of these languages. I'm going to talk to you more about English and also the French. Now looking at these are the major qualifying factors that one has to see when they apply for the Quebec. The same thing applies for the spouse also. On top is the points for the children. So putting all together, we will make the assessment and we will send it back to you, free of cost. Is IELTS required? I'm sure you all are familiar with IELTS. It's the International English Language Testing System. And yes, it is required. Especially if you cannot speak French, then IELTS is a must, I would say. There are many instances where you may still qualify without even giving the IELTS testing results. So again, send your resume and we will decide it for you. In case you require IELTS, then it may be in general training or it may be academic. The minimum points requirement, I would tell you, for IELTS, minimum band requirement is 5. Now, that is 5 for reading, listening, speaking, and writing. Each one 5. And then if you want more points in English, obviously you have to go to the next level, which is listening 8 and speaking 7. Reading and writing still remains 5 and 5. So that's about IELTS. As I said, IELTS may not be mandatory at times, but then that is only for the submission of application. So we will decide whether we require the IELTS in original before we submit the application or not. And if we do not require, even then we are going to ask you to submit this IELTS later on. So in any case, IELTS is required. So you got the answer. Is IELTS required? Yes, IELTS is required. Now, I cannot speak French. Can I still apply under this program? Very good question. You are applying for a place where they speak French, and here is the question. I cannot speak French. Can I still apply under this program? The answer is yes. You can apply. Even if you do not speak French, you can still apply under this program. Why and when do I need to learn French if I apply under this program? Now you see before, I cannot speak French, can I still apply? The answer I said was yes, you can apply. At the same time, here is another question which asks, why and when do I need to learn French? Now for this first question, I said you do not require French. That means you do not require French testing results when we apply for this immigration program. But at the same time, you are applying under a program called Quebec Skilled Worker Program, and eventually you are going to land in Quebec. People speak French, so you have to know French. So what happens here is, when we submit your application without the French, and then you will have some time before you are called for an interview, let's say about 8, 10, 12 months. This is the time you are going to utilize to learn French. It is a simple language. It's another one of those languages. It's not a rocket science. French has got 6 levels, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. 1 and 2 are the beginner's level. 3 and 4 are the intermediate level, and 5 and 6 are the advanced level. All you have to do is learn 1, 2 and 3. And this 1, 2 and 3, take it from me, you can learn in 10 to 12 months. And once you have learned this intermediate level up to level 3, when you come to Canada, when you come to Quebec, you can still go to the French classes here free of cost, and you can improve your French to a much higher level. So, French is definitely required, but not during the submission level, but after submission you will have to take French classes. There are lots of French classes around the world now, and many places you can, even our offices, our representative, our associates, they have French classes in their offices. So please contact them and you can have the French classes done there. Will I be called for interview? Yes, you will be called for the interview. Of course, there are instances where we have received the selection certificate even without going through the interview process. But let's not assume that. Let's take it that yes, you will be called for an interview. Interview is about, the officers will be asking you about your knowledge on Quebec. They will be testing you on your knowledge about your own profession in Quebec. They are going to talk to you about your immigration plan. They are going to see how adaptable you are for the Quebec society. And above all, they will be testing your French. So from the day of submission till the interview, as I said, there is about a gap of 12 months. This is the time you're going to learn French. And in the interview, you are going to experiment your French. You are going to tell the officer, you're going to show to the officer that yes, you know French, you have learned French, you have done all the efforts to continue learning French, and you are the right person to be selected. And as I said, adaptability is a factor they are looking for. The officers are looking for the adaptability, and the adaptability obviously comes when they see whether you are adaptable to the Quebec society, to know a culture, to know a society, to study further or to work at a place where the language is different. You have to first learn the language. So French is important. Don't take it easy. If you are going to sign up with us, we will show you many ways how you can achieve this. Now, will universal immigration help in preparation of interview? Yes, of course. I will be training you. And I have done that for hundreds of successful applicants who are now in Quebec. I will train you for the interview. And we have special interview packages which will be delivered to you, and you can be confident when you appear for the interview. Time taken from start to finish, approximately I would say 15 to 24 months. But it can be earlier than 15 months, or it can be later than 24 months. Time is not in our control. It is only from our data available that I am giving you this number, between 15 and 24 months. And that is actually pretty fast, because this is an immigration process. The government of Canada, government of Quebec has to go through a lot of tests, and they have to do a lot of paperwork, documentation for you before you come in here. Is there any minimum time I have to live in Quebec? You know, this particular question should not be even brought up. But I am putting this question because whenever I go abroad to make the presentations in public, I do face this question. And the answer for this question is not yes and not no. So, what is this? Is there any minimum time I have to live in Quebec? Is there a bond? I'm not going to answer this question in yes or no. The answer to this question is to go back and think about that where are we applying? We are applying under a program called Quebec Skilled Worker Program. We are going to land in Quebec. We are applying for this program because Quebec needs you. Quebec needs your talent. So when you land in Quebec, you are going to be a Quebecois. You are going to be there. It is one of the most beautiful provinces in Canada. The weather is beautiful, the landscape is beautiful, the city is beautiful. There are jobs available, there are big cities, there are beautiful towns. It's a place to live. It's one of the most highly multicultural region in Canada. So why would you leave Quebec? I can see there is only one reason which may compel you to leave, and that reason is you not speaking French. Am I right? If you can speak French, then you are familiar, you are very friendly to this region, and you can manage yourself very well. So coming back to this point of French, it is so crucial that if you know French, you will never leave Quebec. And when you are learning the French before you land in Quebec, you are learning French up to the level 3. And once you land in Quebec, the MICC, which is the Quebec Immigration Department, helps you to learn and to improve your French free of cost. And then you will never leave Quebec at all. You will love Quebec. And then by asking this question, another point is that you are putting this particular program, and you are making the integrity of the program under question. You are applying under the Quebec Skilled Worker Program, then you have to stay there in Quebec to help them. The document that you will be getting at the end of this process is a permanent resident of Canada. It is not a permanent resident of Quebec. So under the Charter of Rights, you can go anywhere in Canada. Nobody is going to stop you. But Quebec is welcoming you. Quebec has put its time, its money, it's helping you, and it's inviting you to come and live in Quebec and help the economy of Quebec. So why would you even think of leaving Quebec? So, if you are not familiar with French and you go for the interview, the officer will definitely think that you have some other agenda. Your aim is probably not live in Quebec, and you are making this program as a platform to come to Canada. And that is what I say is a question on the integrity of this program. So you should be actually learning French, and there are lots of jobs. So believe me, one of the best places in Canada is Quebec. What is the total cost for achieving my dream? Now, this is one of the very logical question, and the answer would be there are three kinds of fees applicable. Fees payable to the Quebec Immigration Department when you make the application. Then once you are selected and you are given the selection certificate document, which will be, let's say, about a year later, you will have to apply for the visa, which is the federal department fees. So there are two government fees involved. One is for the Quebec Immigration Department, and the second is the federal department. And of course, there is a fees payable to the services of universal immigration, which is us. We will be the representative, legal representative of your application, and the Quebec Immigration Department will just speak to us. They will not bother you. And we will see that the application is done correctly and submitted on time. Now, what are the fees? I suggest the fees depends on the individuals and the family members and then the numbers of the family. So I would rather suggest you write to us, send us your resume, and also the resume of your spouse if you are married. Do mention how many children you have, and we will get back to you with the fee structure as well as the eligibility factors. When you are choosing universal immigration and you are here we go. Now before I go to the next step of what kind of services we are going to offer, let me tell you there is this offer right now going on for our friends from Philippines, and that is start your application today by paying only pesos 15,000. That's great. So you can start your application just by 15,000 pesos, and then you can either come to us or go to our associates in Philippines, and then you can register yourself, pay this small amount of money, get started with the application process, and of course eventually you pay the other amount according to the agreements that we make. Okay, this is a super bonus. Take advantage of this. Walk into our office or send your applications to us in Canada. We'll take care of it. The cost includes representation of your application. The fees that you're paying to the universal immigration, we are going to represent your application legally with the immigration departments. There will be an individual allotment of staff for each applicant. from Canada. This particular staff will be with you from the very beginning till the time your application has come to a stage of issuance of visa. We will be there with you all the time. That particular staff will be your point of contact. Free interview preparation. Free access to community portal. That is one of the plus points. You get access to our community portal, which is a portal of membership of all our applicants, those who have already arrived in Canada and those who are in the process of making the applications, those who are waiting for interview. So you can have an interaction with each other, feel each other's experiences. You can make a networking, and then you can, who knows, before you even come to Canada, you make good contacts with the existing members who are in Canada, and make an arrangements where you get a job immediately on coming here. Who knows? The cost also includes free advice and detailed consultation. We do not charge any money when you are going to send us your resume. We will make it the points eligibility assessments free of cost for you. And if you have any questions regarding how this all works, we are there for the consultation. We do not charge for that. Any changes in status during the process, like if you are single, you may get married, or if somebody is married, if they get separated, or if they have a new baby born, or they have changes in their addresses, they have changes in their jobs, anything which changes the status, it has to be reported, and we will be taking charge of it. Of course, as I said, complete support from staff in Canada until you get your PR visa. And here you go. You are associated with one of the top immigration companies in the world. We are today adjudged as one of the top immigration companies in the world. Thousands of applications we do, especially Quebec. We are experts in Quebec immigration program. Nothing goes wrong with us. Now, let's summarize. Let's see how this process works. You will be coming to us with your resume. We will make the assessment and we'll send it back to you. You agree with the terms, then you sign up with us on a retainer agreement. You pay the initial fees. There is a fees payable to the government of Quebec as well. And we start your application. We will submit your application, and you will receive a file number. And the file number normally takes about, let's say, between 4 to 6 months. It may sometimes take a little bit more, sometimes faster, but that's about it. So once you receive the file number, that indicates that technically the files have been submitted correctly. You will be called for an interview. After the interview, you will be getting your CSQ, which is selection certificate, and then we submit the second stage of the application for the actual visa. That is a time when you will have to undergo the medical test, and you will have to submit the police clearance certificate, PCC. That's about it. So all this done, grant of visa. Welcome to Canada. Well, what is the next step you have to take? The next step is contact us, register today. That's our address. That's the corporate address, Universal Immigration. Main office is 50 Cottrell Boulevard, Unit 26, Brampton, Ontario, Canada. Email qas@universalimmigration.com. Send us your resume. Have any question about how to start the process, how to make the payments, we will just make it very easy for you. And I assure you that our services will be absolutely 5-star. Have any questions, please visit our website, call us. We will also give you our Skype. You can speak to one of our representatives if you have any questions, and I'm sure you will be satisfied. For all the associates address, please visit our website. And if I would like to tell you something before I let you go, and that is, if anyone claims that they are associate or representative of universal immigration, please go and check on our website on the contact us page whether that person's or that company's name appears there or not. If it doesn't appear, please let us know and we will take action. And if that company is there listed, you are free to go to them and talk to them, and they will be as polite, as courteous, and as efficient as universal immigration in Canada. Thank you very much. God bless you.